Everybody vibes with the all-new Camry. A standard 225-horsepower engine and an available sport-tuned suspension provide the power and agility to take you anywhere. And to do it in style. With available features like the two-tone midnight black metallic roof, color-matched sport grille, panoramic glass roof, and cockpit red leather trimmed interior, the Camry has never looked better. And because every all-new Camry is a hybrid, it delivers up to an EPA-estimated 51 miles per gallon combined. Whatever your vibe, it's a Camry vibe. Learn more at toyota.com/Camry. Hello, from Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month, we're talking about adversaries, women who fought for their place in history, whether they fought to get to the top of their sport, against how society perceived them, or fought with each other to be champions. We're talking about women who broke barriers and sometimes did seemingly impossible or unspeakable things to carve out their place in history. This episode of Womanica is brought to you by the all-new Toyota Camry. Today we're talking about a woman who went from watching bicycles zoom past to becoming one of the fastest cyclists of her time. On her bike, she reached speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, tearing past her competition. We're talking about Tillie Anderson. Tillie was born in Sweden in 1875. At 16 years old, she immigrated with her family to Chicago and began working as a seamstress. While she was working, she would often see women passing the shop on bicycles. It was the beginning of a new era of cycling. In the 1880s, the safety bike was invented. With two equally sized wheels, an improved braking system, and a lower price tag, the bicycle became much more accessible. Suddenly, women all over the country were cruising the streets, and Tillie desperately wanted to be one of them. She spent 2 years saving up until finally she had enough to buy her very own bicycle. She started off like the women she had admired for so long, cruising slowly in the streets. But before long, Tillie realized she wanted to go faster, way faster. So she entered her first bicycle race. The course was 100 miles long. Tillie spent hours biking through the rain. But in the end, she emerged triumphant. Not only did she win, she beat the record by 18 minutes. That race was just the beginning. Tillie began traveling around the country, entering bike races. At the time, 6-day bike races were enormously popular. Competitors would race against each other for 2 hours a day over the course of 6 days on wooden tracks, surrounded by a lively audience. Women's bike races were especially popular, and Tillie was usually at the front of the pack, streaking down the track. Before long, she'd picked up a nickname, Tillie the Terrible Swede. Sometimes crowds of up to 10,000 people gathered to watch Tillie race against her competitors. The races were a precursor to modern arena sports. And just like today, people paid even more attention when a rivalry was introduced. In 1898, a newcomer arrived on the American bike race scene, a French woman named Lisette. Already a biking sensation in Europe, she'd even raced against men and beaten them. Newspapers described her as young, handsome, and chic. People began to speculate whether Lisette had what it took to take down Tillie. Finally, Lisette and Tillie went head-to-head. They entered a 6-day bike race in Minneapolis. Lisette crowed to the press that she'd take down the terrible Swede. After a tense competition, Tillie won. But the rivalry continued, fueled by journalists who loved to write about the juicy story. Rumors swirled that Tillie sabotaged Lisette in order to win. Tillie and Lisette took to the papers too, writing op-eds in defense of their skills. Amidst her heavily publicized rivalry, Tillie continued to win the vast majority of the races that she competed in. She's reported to have entered 130 races in her career and won all but 7. Her athletic dominance was so noteworthy that a group of physicians who were studying the effects of exercise on women asked to study her. Tillie agreed, and papers across the country publicized the results of the study. They wrote, "From head to foot, she is a mass of muscles." In an era when Victorian notions about womanhood prevailed, many people in Tillie's family disapproved of her biking. Some of Tillie's friends stopped talking to her after witnessing Tillie's racing uniform, a sweater, tights, and shorts, a risque choice for women in the 19th century. But Tillie didn't care. As cars and motorcycles became more popular at the beginning of the 20th century, the craze for biking died down. By 1902, most bike races had ended. Tillie retired and became a masseuse. In the 1930s, she advocated for new bike paths to be built in Chicago. Tillie died in 1965 at 90 years old. In the year 2000, she was inducted into the U.S. Bicycling Hall of Fame. All month, we're talking about Adversaries. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. As always, we'll be taking a break for the weekend. Talk to you on Monday. Everybody vibes with the all-new Camry. A standard 225-horsepower engine and an available sport-tuned suspension provide the power and agility to take you anywhere. And to do it in style. With available features like the two-tone midnight black metallic roof, color-matched sport grille, panoramic glass roof, and cockpit red leather-trimmed interior, the Camry has never looked better. And because every all-new Camry is a hybrid, it delivers up to an EPA-estimated 51 miles per gallon combined. Whatever your vibe, it's a Camry vibe. Learn more at toyota.com/Camry.